Oh, we're going. Don't just focus. No. No.
What?
No.
I'm trying to get Mark.
All right. Okay.
Okay, well, you're going the
I was
wrong
seeing-
way.
Yeah, you're going the wrong way. You're going towards me, which is why I was like, no, please don't.
My
fingers don't do that well.
How do?
Wait a minute, I'm like,
You
To
can
the
twist
right
it.
there,
Like-
that way.
In the crevice.
The crevice. Crevice. A little crevice.
It's just a woo.
Mr. Obama. I hate you so fucking much.
Can you ask Rosie, because I'm not in the call at the moment, can you ask Rosie to log in and see if she can hear us?
can you go into
Okay.
YouTube and see if you can hear
Oh,
it?
foot shot.
Yeah.
Hello?
Uh,
Hello? Wait, are you
disgusting.
sure you're not in the call? I
Disgusting.
can hear myself twice.
Okay. In the
I can't
crevice.
hear anything.
Get your ass in the crevice, Maria.
You're in the crevice. Or you can be on the sofa. I don't know.
Fine. I don't mind not being in it. I don't mind being a disembodied voice.
I mean, no, that's why I wasn't going to be in it, because nobody needs to see me. I'm the DM.
Well,
See, there's my arm. I'm fine. It's fine.
You people of the world.
Hang on.
We don't even know if you can hear us yet.
People that ever see it.
what?
I know we have 100 views on one of ours, which is, I think, like the most we've got.
Whoa! All like potentially 100 people. That's pretty wild.
What's happening?
That needs to get
Oh,
times by
maybe
10
we
now.
look at each other through different things.
Are we ready?
Wait, you can hear Mark, can't you?
So yeah, one of our party members is too fucking far away. So she's on Skype. Adelaide, for future
Actually, they can
reference.
see her.
She's in the distant land of
Yeah.
Orkney,
Oknas.
which if Scotland could get remote, that's where it gets remoter. Hi.
Have you left the call?
Okay, I'm out of the call. Can you hear me?
Hello? Hello? Wait, can you hear us on YouTube?
Can you hear me?
Hello?
Voice check.
Mark. Just him? Oh, okay. Can you hear us all? Maria, speak.
Hello.
Okay, everyone to start.
I just disconnected this because it was plugged in. I wondered if that was stopping it. Okay, you're just going to have to.
Yeah, I'll be
translator.
You just have to be Rosie and.
If you can hear everyone, then that's fine.
Because I have a different plug at the bottom of mine, so. I don't even have the right headset to hear Rosie. Unless you've got the right headset, Livy. No, you're a 6, aren't you? So you're a normal jack.
You can only hear Mark. Oh, hardly. Wait. Why didn't you use YouTube? Oh, but then it's slow. Wait, I'll move closer. Right, we're talking. Okay, Mark, speak.
Hi.
Can you hear me a bit better?
Wait, I can turn up my mic.
But we're using that mic for YouTube.
Yeah, but that's, remember YouTube's like
I love
behind
how.
us.
Oh, yeah.
Right, say hi now.
Hi.
Is that
Hi,
better?
how are you? Wonderful
Oh,
weather.
you meant
when
to
you're
shout.
recording.
I mean, I have a loud voice anyway.
You'll just shout when you did like really. Disasters are always coming.
Okay. People can hear us on that, so that's good. Okay.
Incredible.
Oh.
Okay. So, now that we're ready,
Oh, good.
now that we're ready, just trying to find a way to sit that's gay and comfortable.
Man, what struggle.
You don't hear my call.
Can you hear me now? Everything okay? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Awesome. So, yeah, Adelaide is back in Orkney, but still playing with us via the wonderful thing that is the internet.
Yay.
Makes the world so much smaller. You guys last finished off like 6 months ago. However long it was. It feels like 6 months. With you going to bed with Adelaide and Violet sharing a room and Felix and Vash sharing a room, where Felix, you decided to crawl up at the bottom of the bed
Yeah.
and give Vash the whole bed, bar the bottom of the bed.
Yeah, but like you're also the size of a grown man.
I'm a girl in a cat ball.
So
So
you're
you're like,
a huge ball of cat.
exactly. I mean, you're lucky Vash is short, is all I'm saying.
But yeah, you're all pretty exhausted after you were nearly killed by a kraken.
Oh yeah. That was what I got
And then had to get through the oceans and get to Saphicadia. It was a wild time.
Actually fucking was.
And so we basically start in the morning. But I need all of you to give me a wisdom save.
Oh, yes, boys. Piss on that.
Even the mic might be able to pick you up. Can you hear people a bit better now? My dice is covered in. People just talk.
Wisdom save, Adelaide. Wisdom save.
Well,
Gay time.
Your saves are on the big ones.
what? That was a 4. Wait, it was in saving.
Yeah, wisdom saving throw. 12.
I have 12 as well.
You have 12 as well.
What did you get, Ruby?
That may or may not have
Okay. I need you to mute Adelaide. Don't pay attention to anything you can hear us on. So the three of you have really vivid nightmares about tentacles, and a feeling of pressure within your brain.
Thanks, I hate it.
You're all don't sleep very well and are level 1 exhausted.
Thanks, I hate it.
You can now bring back Adelaide.
You're back.
Adelaide,
Hello.
Adelaide, you slept perfectly, if not a little bit uncomfortable because you're still not sure how to take Violet's approaches. But other than that, you slept amazingly.
Did she touch your titty?
You feel very refreshed.
Violet does not touch Titty without consent.
Okay, cool.
This is we're not doing like that guy down in Manchester. We're not a rapey group.
Oh no, I'm not saying
Sexually
rapey.
deviant, sure. Rapey, no.
Hey, they could have talked converse. I'm just asking if it transpired.
No. So yeah,
Also, this tea is called Bard. It's
we are not
tea.
paid to promote it.
We're not, but I'm just saying. And I'm not
Okay.
getting paid to say that. I'm just a fan.
Okay. So yeah, you three are very tired when you wake up. Not been the best night's sleep you ever had. You need to set all your stats to level 1 exhausted.
How do I do that?
If you go onto your page.
Hang on, I need to sign it again because for some reason it hates me.
Well, that sounds like a you problem.
Well, it sounds like a you problem when you're the DM, doesn't it?
Fair point. In the conditions section, I believe it is. Yeah, down at the very bottom. And it should tell you what that punishment incurs. Disadvantage on ability checks.
Bash is also now extremely paranoid. You can see it in his face.
Probably, yes. Okay, so you woke up in the morning.
Fuck, I can't find it.
What are you going to do? Not under conditions.
Just on
I'm
the
gonna
normal
try
shape.
and go back to sleep. I'm gonna be like, night.
You have discovered a portal to a new plane where things are not working. Are you trying it? Yes.
Try signing out and signing back in again.
Yeah. I don't have.
Sorry, we're experiencing some technical difficulties.
We are today. Like, what's up with that, man?
Technology is not our friend.
But why?
While you're sorting that, so you're wanting to re-nap, are you?
Oh right.
Are you wanting to spend 4 hours napping to
I mean,
recover?
it depends what everyone else is doing.
What are you going to do if Ash is now paranoid and level 1 exhausted?
Rock back and forth for a bit. No, now we start barricading the doors and the windows.
Is that actually what you're going to do?
Yes.
Okay, roll me an investigation check to find something to barricade the doors and windows with.
I'm at disadvantage.
Yeah, you are.
Oh, okay. 13.
Yeah, you find nothing that you could use to barricade a window or a door with.
Is there not like a lock on the doors or?
There is a lock on the door. That's not barricading
I'm
it.
going to lock the door.
Okay.
That's as close as we're gonna get.
Okay, you lock the door with you and Felix inside. You're now in a locked room. Adelaide?
Was that me?
Yeah, that's your name.
Well, I can hardly hear anything.
Adelaide!
Wait, have you got me turned up full volume?
Yeah.
Like not just your phone, like actually me. Like on Discord when you can click on somebody and you can turn up their volume.
Okay.
Try that as well.
Yeah, your full volume.
Weird.
Up to 200%. Okay. Yeah, what do you want to do in the morning when you wake up?
Not me. Where is the mermaid place, Arcade?
You are in Saphicadia. You've been sleeping on in a royal bed.
Wait, we're underwater but not dying. We get an explanation for that.
Yeah, but you weren't paying attention. The explanation is that Saphicadia, when they sealed it above, was trapped full of air, so there's air that you can breathe.
Fine. That's not how air works, but fine.
That is how air works.
No, they would run out of air.
You can leave the room, Adelaide. You enter back into the hallway. To your left would be the stairs back down to the main chamber where you first met the king. To your right is just more hallways with more doors.
I would try and see if I can open the doors.
Okay. The one directly opposite you is locked. And when you go down, you notice that other doors seem to be locked as well.
Okay, well, do I know which door the others are staying in?
Yeah, they were the one directly opposite the room you were staying in.
That's not
Yeah, it's
You can
locked.
knock.
right. I knock on every single door.
Okay. You hear a knocking on your door and then knocking further down the hallway.
I'll go to the door.
I'm going to scream.
You can scream. I feel like I'll be so sleep deprived that I'll be like,
The door is locked when you try to open it.
why can't I open my own door?
You need to unlock it.
Don't open the door!
And I don't know, where is the key, Vash?
I ate it.
Throw up right now.
I'm going to hide under the bed now.
Can I pick?
Yeah, give me a sleight of hand check. Disadvantage since you're exhausted. Disadvantage. Roll twice, take the lowest.
One.
Plus 3.
No.
No, it's a 1. And that 1 is a 1. It's a
1.
crit fail. Because we're playing by those rules because they're much more fun.
What if you like break your hand on the door? Skyrim. Wait, no, it'll be like Skyrim.
You think you instead of using your tools, you try and use your claws. You've now broken
Oh.
your claws.
Oh no, ow.
I mean, they're gonna grow back. It's fine.
though.
She chipped a nail real bad.
Somebody that has some bad.
The amount of times I've stood on something sharp on the floor and I've been like, oh, what's that? And it's Mango having taken off like her claw, and I'm like, don't leave it on the floor. Talking to you.
Tibby does that. Like you just see him sitting there like.
Mango comes up like in bed when I'm just laying there, and she'll like lay here, and then she'll grab her foot and go, and I'm like, stop!
Do you ever just eat your own foot?
It's the worst noise.
Anyway,
I'm like getting any responses from the other doors.
no, you're
Can I
not.
shout through the door?
You can.
Adelaide, I forgot your name. What's I was gonna say Rosie. Please. I'm stuck.
Like, how are you stop?
Bash followed the key.
You didn't know. You didn't even try and check if I was lying.
Well, I suppose you were just gonna tell the truth because you're going a bit nuts at the moment. So I was like, maybe you actually did.
You're not wrong.
How's Violet? What's Violet doing during all this? She's like, no, I'm just starting up.
I'm like ignoring everyone.
They're in a semi-state of consciousness. Yeah.
She's going back in with you, Flo.
Yeah, she go back into your room.
What? Because you burned down the door.
You fucking mad lad.
I mean, is the building fire safe?
When does that start?
Okay.
I'll try burn.
What about you just try picklocking it?
You
Sounds
can,
like a fireball.
But what if you burn down the entire building?
Depends what the building's made out of.
True,
We
but
said
war, so building's not made out
it's
of
not
water.
gonna burn down, is
Just
it?
walk through everything.
And if it was made of wood, it was wrong.
Okay, fine. I'll try.
none of them actually asked what it's made of.
I can't ask. I'm hiding under a bed.
Stop metagaming. Do what Violet would do. What would Violet do? Violet, who's now quite tired because they've not slept very well.
Violet would probably try to burn down the door.
Okay. Are you going to cast Fireball at the door? Okay, so you need to expend the spell slot. Give me an attack check. Roll a d20 and then add whatever it is for Fireball. I'm not sure what your magic attack is.
Fireball.
We're supposed to be guests, and we're burning down their door.
Well, this was your idea.
You guys are to say, you're the cleric, Adelaide. You're the person here who's got the most morals.
Can I try and make Bash throw up?
Bash,
How would you like to do that?
Bash is under the bed, so good luck with that.
I'm gonna drag you out.
Okay, well, first we're going to do this.
Yeah. Okay. 20.
Oh my good fucking god.
Okay, roll your damage.
Fucking obliteration.
It's gonna obliterate the whole building. The whole
I
building's gonna
didn't
go.
expect you to have
vision.
And
stats.
literally, like, all of the mermaids or whatever are just gonna be standing in this empty zone now, staring at us, and we're gonna be like,
Yeah, Violet's gonna be like,
We did something.
still exactly as she was, and I'm gonna be like under the charred remains of the bed.
like, and I'm gonna be like clawing on the floor, like trying to get to you, like, what's happening? Okay.
Doing the little cat butt wiggle.
Exactly. 2.
Double, or roll. You can, well, if you get a crit, you can either roll twice or double what you roll. So you got, yeah, so you roll 2 dice and then add +4, basically. Or you can roll 1 dice and double it, whichever you'd rather.
Roll again. 3. So 5.
+4. 9. Bear with. I didn't expect you to get stats for doors. I knew that I had not prepared for what you fuckers would do.
I don't think there's any way to prepare. Hi, Mango. Hello, Mango. Mango. Hello, Mango. Oh, no. I hate it.
Um,
Oh, your
Okay, I'll
eyes
feed
getting
you
so
one
big
of
again.
Thank you.
Oh no! Oh, no!
the coral life that kind of makes up the door like burns away, and there's kind of like the
Oh God,
husky
you're killing the
exfil bit
ocean.
that's like left behind on the stone. It looks quite fragile now.
So is the door gone?
No, but the coral around it is gone,
Good
and what's
going.
left behind
You
looks
can
quite.
probably just. And then I try to kick the door.
Give me a strength check. Actually, give me a dexterity check.
Oh yeah, I'm imagining like a roundhouse kicking that door.
+3. Wait, no. You're looking at mine.
I'm not looking.
Yeah, make sure you're on the right
+2.
person. Plus you're disadvantaged, remember, so roll twice, take the lowest. You manage to kick the door, but you also kick yourself when you do it. So you fall on the ground. You don't take any damage, but you look a little bit more red than normal. But the door does open.
What up, baby?
Why did you lock the door?
I did.
Is Vashto cowering under the bed?
We had some pretty bad
Yes.
dreams, and I think Bash is going crazy because of it.
Well, I mean, you don't know that you all had the same dream.
True, but I'm
You had a
guessing.
whack. Only you had a whack dream, as far as you know.
But with Bash acting so weird, I can imagine that something weird happened in their brain in the middle of the night. So maybe not the exact same thing, but definitely something to make them do that.
I mean, it's Vash. Anything could have happened.
If anything, it's a fucking party up here, boys. Bash is in fact still under the bed.
Bash is in the middle of the bed.
Bash also has -1 strength, so it's gonna be fucking funny.
How are you wanting to proceed now that the three of you are looking at Vash under the bed? Who is screaming gently?
What
Distant,
if-
gay screaming.
It's like,
Two of us lift the bed. Wait, how big is this bed?
It
Just
would be
like a
made.
normal double bed?
It's like a king.
Well, let's just tell them to get the fuck out. That's not working. You
I
don't
haven't
think I
tried it. No, you didn't
Oh, I
actually.
didn't. Bash, get the fuck out onto the bed.
It's not safe.
There you go. See, that's why I didn't try.
What was the dream?
Oh, you don't know.
Yeah.
Bash, tell her. Wait,
Well, you don't even know that you had the same dream. None of you know.
You don't even ask what's wrong. You don't. Fools.
What is wrong? I had a messy dream. I just wanted to go like just feel better, you know? You are hunger. I know you have hunger.
That's very valid. Bash is just gonna start yelling that they found him.
Bash, sweetie, little boy.
Little boy. I'm a grown man.
Nothing's found you, just us. And who are we?
He's like popping out.
We're your friends. So
Deep.
you can come out now.
Let me draw a permanent marker, a bond of friendship.
Stop this. He's just gonna start crying.
Don't look around us.
Looking around. Checking behind curtains.
Give me a wait. I need to decide what I want this to be. Bear with. Bear with. Bear with. Give me a persuasion check on your chat to Vash.
Oh, okay, cool. Do I have to do anything?
No. Maybe you're disadvantaged.
Oh yeah, I took the lowest one.
Yeah. Give me a charisma save. Disadvantage. Oh no, you won't be disadvantaged because it's a saving throw. So yeah, just charisma save straight up.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, I want to use this dice.
Pick a dice, roll it, tell me the number.
Yeah, I want to use my new one, so.
Tell
I'm
me the.
just going to roll 2 because I was in disadvantage. Charisma saving. 15.
You're not convinced.
Okay, I repeat it.
You were feeling it and then you're not.
I'll give up.
Cute.
I have too much disadvantage here.
Gay vibes.
It's not gay enough.
Natalie, you're meant to be the moral one. Why aren't you being nice?
I can't hear.
How can you not hear?
Put your headphone back in.
Ay, 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 ay. Ay, caramba. Ay, caramba.
It's like when two people talk at the same time, it doesn't work. It just
Oh, that makes sense.
mutes it.
Right. Basically, my persuasion did not get Bash out from underneath the bed, so I need you to try and be nice and sweet and get Bash out.
Bash is now adding to this conspiracy notebook.
You hear scribbling from under the bed. Furious scribbling.
Furious!
You need to tell us what they're saying.
Bash isn't really saying anything, more of like it found us, and that was like the one thing Bash said. We don't know. Adelaide's asking what found you.
I need to look up the name.
Or wait.
Very valid. Background.
She can't really communicate through sign language to me.
Oh yeah, that's a point. Bash can't fucking speak. He's had to poke out to look at you to talk.
Yeah, he has to be staring at you.
Well, we're all just like looking under the bed like
Oh,
this.
Well, whoever is squinting at me out of the bed, it's the Pourvoir and the Dreaming Dark has found us.
This means nothing to any of you.
No, it doesn't.
Dreaming dark.
Scuttle. I'm just imagining like scuttling like a sad conspiracy theory.
Right. You need to use wise words. Come take a headphone.
Okay, cool, nice.
Come take a headphone.
Very cool. Oh shit.
Some wise words.
I mean, we all need to hear these wise words.
Okay, hit me. Hi, Bo. You say
Okay.
Bo and Boo at the same time?
I need to hear what these wise words are.
I'll tell you.
I do not approve.
Big strong voice. Now they're everywhere, bro.
You should have just unplugged her for her bit.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Basically,
Cool and nice.
we're all strong. We'll protect Bash if something happens, and Adelaide can heal.
Okay.
And the only thing that can get us is a dolphin, really, because we're underwater.
Ever heard of a shark, buddy?
Sharks are cute.
Lionfish.
Charisma save. Disadvantage.
Cool and nice.
Wait, not you.
No. Just
Just
Bash. Bash na piranha.
8.
8.
Okay, yeah, you're convinced.
Okay. Time to scuttle.
You scuttle out from under the bed. See, when Adelaide needs to say something, like, you can just unplug her. And we can all hear. I was just there, like, what's happening? I don't know what's being said. Okay, so you're all out. Bash is no longer quite as scared, while still extremely paranoid.
I feel like we all took different routes. Paranoid, hungry, and annoyed. I'm probably just tired.
Tired and annoyed.
Yeah.
And Adelaide, the cleric, just leading you all.
She's like, woo, this is great.
By the grace of Saluna, come with me, children. Come on, come on.
Fun.
Right, okay, so what are you going to do now? You're now standing in a room that has a burned door.
We should probably leave before anyone
I'm
sees
hungry.
the property damage.
Where's the kitchen?
Well, you could head back down to the main area and see.
Merc. That would work. Yeah, I'll head back down to the
Okay.
main hall.
Are you following?
Y'all
As a group?
coming?
Yes. Food. Please.
Does Adelaide go?
Let's go to the mall.
Okay.
Get in, bitch. We're going shopping.
You all go down and notice that the table is laid for 4 of you. Well, 5 because of the sea captain, but he's sitting on his own, hiding away, just munching. He also looks like he's about to like collapse from
Oh yeah,
alcohol
he was
poisoning.
like a useful family.
But there are like 4 seats like together for you guys to sit down and eat.
Oh, have a seat.
Yes. Blessed.
Well, where is the food here?
Yeah, the food is there. There is a selection of fish, some wrapped in seaweed.
Sushi time.
Non-seafood.
No.
Man, Violet's going hungry. We're gonna eat. There's different choose whatever one. Do you want your character to starve even though you already have a disadvantage?
Does Violet care about what she eats?
She watches Saphicadia.
She fucking what?
She watches Saphicadia.
Okay, and fish is not on the menu because
She's good for you. Very good for you.
if you have a reason for not eating fish, that's fair. I just want to know what your reason for not eating fish is.
When Violet used to work at the sausage, she was also a part-time fishmonger. Oh my
Oh
god.
yeah. What
She
she
was
thought.
Adelaide's rations forced to cut open fish multiple times a day and put her off. So. Why
Really,
do you wanna
really,
make
cutting
it
open
more
humans on a daily basis, fine. Cutting open fish, though, no, that's a whole different level.
We make this as complicated as possible anyway, and you're just making it 10 times worse. Just not eating. Just eat the fish. Fucking eat the fish.
There's Felix just throwing fish at Violet now.
Honestly, I'm at the point of like my annoyance is peaked. I'm like just.
Okay.
Rations.
There's different types.
Adelaide has rations, but you're not getting them because I'm forcing fish down your throat.
Mm,
Delicious.
I mean, you all probably have rations if you check.
Yeah, we do all have rations. Okay.
Probably should save them for like, you know, when we don't have a whole table of food.
Okay, I said it.
There's some edible coral as well, along with some seaweed, some plankton-style plants. Fish that you've never seen before, but smells quite nice. You just eating away. Yeah? Oh, cool. You eat. You feel replenished. A kind of older, quite squat man appears. And he asks, "How was your breakfast?"
Gucci.
The king has requested that you meet him for supper this evening at approximately 9 under the ocean.
What?
What does that mean in land terms?
I believe you call. I don't know these land terms. Nobody here, bar the 5 of you, has ever set foot on the land.
Okay, but how do we know when to go have dinner?
When the light above starts to fade, come back to the castle.
Nice, cool. Sunset, guys.
When the light goes under the sea, come to the castle.
When the light fades, we go back to castle to eat dindins.
Dindins.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just had breakfast.
The guards have been told you are permitted to wander the city, but I suggest that you don't make any trouble. The people here aren't fond of land walkers. There's already a much disgust at the fact that we haven't flooded the city already.
Wow, what a fresh take.
What if we all just pretend we're fish?
So what, we like draw some gills on and swim.
I feel like a fish on fire.
I suggest you don't try and make fun of our customs. We're not opposed to killing you.
Excellent.
Do you have any questions, or shall I leave you be?
Yeah, what are you gonna do for the rest of the day?
You got like shops, like the armor and stuff, or
If you check out the industrial zone, there's plenty of shops there.
any missions? Any questions, Adelaide?
The king has asked that you speak to him in regards to anything you can help with. I am not willing to discuss anything.
What are you trying?
What's Adelaide saying?
Ooh, yikes.
She's saying yikes.
Right. Basically, do we have any questions for the guy that's talking to us about the city and what's to do in the city and stuff?
You muted.
I mean, what?
No, you muted like halfway through that sentence.
Oh, basically, the guy that's speaking to us about coming back for dinner at nighttime has asked if we have any questions about the city and stuff because we're on like free reign now.
Okay, wait, what was our whole mission in the first place? I forgot.
I've also forgotten.
I've also forgotten too.
So you've been hunting down a way to get into the temple.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wasn't it like 4 or 5 places that we had?
Yeah.
I found a book that had all the places in it.
Yeah.
Um,
Where's this book?
Soggy book.
Yeah, the book got ruined when you fell in the water.
Can we ask him about directions
To
Yeah,
where?
to where we need to go?
But we don't remember.
Why don't we ask him about the Temple of Set?
We could.
So back.
We need to stop it.
That's
Thanks.
Set.
Hell yeah, Temple of Set.
Oh yeah. I know how to get in there.
That's a different temple. Or you want to ask questions about the temple of Quebec?
Yes, please.
Okay, what do you want to know?
Does he know anything about it? No, but he's never heard of it.
I suggest you ask the king at dinner.
Oh, fab. Okay, time to stick around.
Any questions?
There's an air of oh wait, no, perception check from all of you. Those of you are disadvantaged to be disadvantaged.
Not 20.
Awesome. Is that disadvantage though?
I don't. Do you still do disadvantage if you roll?
Yeah.
That's fucking bullshit. If you get
I got 19. That was my lowest.
Okay, awesome. Plus what?
Think about that. There was 19.
Oh, 19,
that was
okay.
Yeah.
unnatural 20.
Awesome.
13.
Okay, what did Adelaide get?
Adelaide? Perception check.
Oh, okay. Wait. Wait, what's my perception? 12.
Okay. Adelaide won't know and you don't know. You two feel that they're hiding something, that he's hiding something when he says that. Like, you need to ask the king. Like, he knows more but isn't going to say. You two are oblivious. You're just like, kill whatever, we'll ask the king.
Wait, who's oblivious?
You roll an intimidation check.
Oh. I don't know what.
All of us. No, just me.
You get that there's a hint that he's hiding something or that he knows more than he's telling.
Just like,
And now,
I can't even. That wasn't that one.
yeah, you just can't roll higher than that.
Yeah,
or
I know,
lower than
like,
that.
There's no. I was gonna roll again.
He like looks back with even a harsher glint and you're like,
can I use my
hide under the table with a few ears poking up at the top.
You leave him alone. I have the ability to temporarily let people answer me when I speak in their head holes. So I could give him that and be like, just think it to me. What's up? Also, leave him alone.
He comes back with, ask the king.
Okay, but you're right here.
Ask the king.
Fine, where is he?
He has been a meeting.
Where is it? I'm going in. I've had enough. These games, you fool.
Right, let's go to see and explore.
I'm
and then
thinking
we'll
that
come back
one.
to this.
It's nap
Okay.
time.
Does Vash want to go for a nap?
Not on his own.
What's the rest of the group doing?
Is there still fish on the table?
Very little left now.
I'll finish.
Okay, you finished the fish.
Will
You're very full.
explore. I want to go explore it.
Okay, you go outside of the main palace, and it's very light now compared to when you first arrived, and you're in like a garden kind of area that stretches 4 miles. 4 miles. 4 miles, not 4 miles. 4 miles.
Oh, okay. Kind of visual
is how long 4 miles is.
No, 4 miles, not 4.
Hooray.
You notice that there's guards dotted around every so often. You notice that like on the main path there's like a little indent and that has water flowing through it. And at certain points this water seems to like disappear under the ground, like kind of sewer drains. But they look much more prettier than basic gas sewer drains.
Yeah.
But this water seems to run throughout like a lot as far as you can see, it runs everywhere.
Just walk down
Yeah.
the path. Keep walking until I encounter some type of shop.
You walk for about an hour, and then you can see this wall, which seems to be the outer rim of the castle grounds. There are some guards there who have the gate open, and they just let you pass as you walk by. Once you exit, you notice that there are kind of like big-looking houses here, and it's kind of a very wealthy kind of people, and the people who look at you, who are like merfolk Triton. Some of them are giving you quite a wide berth and looking at you kind of sketchily, like, "Oh my god, they're not one of us." Dodgy, very dodgy. Other of them just don't seem to even like. They're just passing you like you're not even there, as if you don't exist.
Oh. Wait, did I go out with them?
Yeah, you've all went
Okay, I was
together.
about to say, I was like, am I still
Wait, did I get
All of you were together. No, nobody wanted to nap with you.
I'm not on my own.
Wait, what if I'm okay.
Just tell them to listen to YouTube. I know it's behind, but
Can you hear anything? Whoa, I can't even hear anything now.
go to YouTube. Just let them watch for YouTube.
I want FaceTime. Try FaceTime.
Try FaceTime. Ooh, wait, that might work.
Oh, so I can't hear you. Hello. Can you hear me now? Oh, I can hear you now. Want to try FaceTime? Okay.
Some more technical difficulties.
When will they end?
Okay, but yeah, you're all outside the gate now, looking at Tritons and Merfolk. You've noticed that all of the guards seem to be Triton.
Racism!
Hello. Okay, right. Let me. Can you hear? Words?
Hello. Hello. We can hear you. So yeah, you're now out. So did you hear any of that description, Adelaide? Cool. Right. So you've all decided to leave the palace. When you've went outside, there's like a gardening area that goes on for miles. Yes. You're in a bubble, so there's air so you can breathe.
Sounds fake, but
Why does it sound fake? Do you want me to flood the city and you can all drown to death?
Let's do it.
okay.
Yeah, so it goes on for miles. You notice that, like, on the pathway, there's like in the middle, there's like a little indent which has water running through it, and every so often there seems to be like a little bit for it to go down into the ground, like a drainage kind of system.
Well, I'm glad we're not drowning in our own shit, guys.
But you've walked through the gardens. You've noticed that there's guards every so often that all seem to be Triton. Once you've walked for about an hour, you come to like the outer gate of like the palace area. And there's Triton and Merfolk here. You've entered into a very rich-looking district, where some people are giving you a wide berth and looking at you very sketchily, and others are pretending you're not even there.
Racism.
These are mer people, right?
They're a combination of Merfolk and Triton, yes.
Do they have their tail on right now?
Wait, how are they breathing? If we
They're amphibious. Triton and Merfolk can breathe both air and water.
okay, but
Are
they
they
still
just
need.
like dragging their bodies across the ground?
They can float.
Yeah,
So-
they're just like with their tails.
Merfolk are very humanoid in appearance, with kind of like webbing, and then like Merfolk have more, like their feet look more like fins, but they can walk on ground if they need to. They don't like it. None of them are very happy about that, but that's you'll find it out later. That's metagaming. They're like Zoras.
Okay.
Hang on, I'm gonna send a
Let's
picture. Oh shit, that's a really cool piece of banner.
try find
For what?
Do you even have any money? Have you ever heard of window shopping?
Why now?
What else was supposed to do until
Hey,
900
A group nap. Big cuddle pile.
Vash is cranky.
Is there any like kind of mysterious looking place? Not mysterious, but like it kind of stands out.
Other
So
than
you're
other than the palace in this area, which is like the main central point, nothing particularly. This area is all very flashy. Like people who live here have clearly got more money than sense, kind of people.
What other areas are there? There's obviously the poor area, and then there was an industrial one that they said. Can I go to the industrial area?
You can.
That sounds
How do you think you're going to get there?
walking that way. I don't
He's going to
know.
walk to your right.
What way is it? I don't know. You never told me.
Okay, so when you get,
walk.
you've got like you've got like a path, like a road that's like a T-junction outside the palace gates. So you can go left or right, essentially. You've noticed that the pathways look exactly the same with like indents in the ground, with the water running through them.
I'll go left.
You go left. Okay. You walk left for about half an hour. The mansions are starting to get a little bit smaller the further away from the main palace entrance, but this area is still very flashy. You come to what's kind of like a little shelter almost. It's kind of like cylindrical, and it's kind of like almost looks like glass, but it's not quite as clear as glass. It probably fits about, you can probably get 10 people standing inside of it. And there are 2 buttons and a space where 1 button should be, which has like a line for the word. The words are written in Merfolk, which I don't know if you speak, so you don't know what they say. That's 1, 2, 3. The bottom one's been scored out and the button's been removed. Okay. Are all of you going in at the same time?
Sure. Have you guys followed me? Oh.
Yeah, that's what I'm checking. I need to know who's where.
I thought I was just alone.
Yes.
Should we ask someone at least before we go in?
No, is anybody going to talk to us though? It's just fucked up.
There's nobody around at this moment you could ask. I mean, you could wait for somebody, but there's nobody here at the moment.
We were being ignored though.
We get instead of being ignored, we can still walk up.
Not to just look at us and go.
That's an
okay.
idea. I don't have to go up to them. I'll just look at them.
That will freak him out.
Well, they understand us.
I have comprehend language.
Everyone should speak common though, right?
Not everyone.
Necessarily.
The majority of the world does speak common. Yeah.
Yeah, but like.
It is the main language. The majority of the world
Yeah,
speaks
but
it.
like that weird guy was speaking to us in our language.
Mhm.
So some other people must be able to, at least.
Let's see.
But as Mark said, there's nobody around us. Let's just. We'd have to probably.
If you want to go back to Heb anyway.
How long was the walk?
It would be half an hour to get back to the entrance of the temple, and then an hour to get back into the palace.
So can I just press the middle button?
Like,
Okay, are you all in? Yeah.
sure.
Maybe like a monorail.
Definitely.
Wait to find out. You hear like a kind of shunting noise as like the glass kind of seals around you. Perception check from everyone. Not disadvantage for those of you who are disadvantaged, and advantage for Adelaide.
Advantage for you.
Why do I get advantage?
7.
Because you do.
21.
Cool. What did you get?
21.
21. Adelaide? Cool. You two think nothing's happened. Do you do anything after you push the button? Other than the glass shutting, nothing else has happened as far as you're aware.
I'm just gonna have a look around. see
You're just
if
gonna
my
like turn
button
around
did
and like.
anything, just like yeah.
Other than the glass shutting, you're not aware that anything else has happened. Adelaide, Vash, you hear a noise that seems to be getting louder.
We're gonna get fucking run over.
I feel like we're gonna get shot into like the sky or something. We're just gonna be like, whoa!
I'm just gonna look. I'm just gonna be like, Ah, shit.
What do you
Here we
respond?
go, boys.
What's your response to them going, oh shit?
What? What's going on?
I can't hear. What you about?
Let's part.
See, because she said that,
Yeah.
and I like hear it now. I'm like,
Give me an advantage perception check for you. Because you're now trying to actively listen.
wait, advantage means twice.
Roll twice, take the highest.
16.
You know the sound.
I know this.
Yeah. It's fast running water.
Here we go, boys.
And it's getting
I'm gonna
closer.
drown. Fast running water.
And the sound's getting louder. Now you can hear it as well.
It's like, oh, dear.
Emily, I'm gonna drown. Emily, I can't swim. I'm okay.
What do you do?
I try and look up
Everybody
where-
get a buddy.
where the water's coming from.
Okay. It's getting louder. You can
Can
tell
I
it's getting
tell?
closer.
Can I tell where it's coming
Is it
from?
like
or
up,
not?
up, up and down?
Investigation check. Advantage.
I'd like to cast vicious mockery on the water.
You can't. It's not sentient.
Wait.
Nat 20 on the investigation.
I got 11.
Okay. Yes, it seems to be coming from the pipe that's connected to above the chamber.
Okay, right. So, are we trapped?
Wait,
It would appear that
maybe
way.
I'm gonna have a look and see if I can see anything where water could come in.
Above you.
If there's a hole.
Yeah.
I'm going to drown.
What if this is like a soaking station? Because they're amphibious. And they
Oh
need
my
to
god,
drink,
what
and
is
they
it? What did we do? Do we get sucked into
just- the hole?
All of you give me a dexterity saving throw. Disadvantage for those of you that are
There were
disadvantaged.
3, but one of them was like taken away. Saving.
11.
Disadvantage for those of you that are disadvantaged.
Oh,
This is why we should have had a team nap.
true.
No!
16.
16.
Sorry, I had to think about that. There was like counting.
What did you get?
11.
11.
You got 16
unnatural 20.
Unnatural 20. Adelaide, what was your dexterity save? 16. Okay, so 16, 16, 11, and unnatural 20. Okay. Suddenly the floor opens and you all fall down. Everyone but Vash manages to like maintain an upright position. Vash just like freaks out, panics, falls on their face. As you start to fall, the water appears and you're like basically shot down a drain. Like a water
It's
flume.
flushed away. Get down.
You are panicking, but you are managing to kind of like ride above the water. Vash, you
Surfing, like,
not surfing, but you're just like head above, like
I'm Naruto swimming down the water.
you're just getting flushed down, like
like the toilet.
like you're getting like thrown up through the water back into the water. You're just not managing to maintain some sort of dignity at all.
Boy from Fishing Village don't
Like
know
where
how
your
water
butt
works.
comes up at one point and everything flashes and then your head comes around. You're like, you guys can see
You
that.
just like get brief things and told them, guys help! Guys!
You twist and you turn, like it goes up, it goes down. It doesn't seem to stop. You've only been in it for like 5 minutes, but it does seem to be going on for quite a while. And then you just are like dropped into like basically another cylinder in another area, and the water just drains out from under you, and you're just left standing in the ball. Well, Vash is flat on his face, but the rest of you have like landed on your feet. Like,
absolutely soaked.
yes.
I feel like it was.
Yes. You've now basically reappeared in another cylinder.
Are we at like another part of town?
Have a look.
What again?
You look around and you notice this bit seems like you can see like little canopies over buildings and have like shop signs. There's like tavern bits. You can like see like pictures of like beer and stuff and wine. There seems to be a lot of activity. There's a lot more people, not always well dressed as those you'd seen. Some like a little bit less. Some seem kind of normal. Some seem quite poor. There's definitely a divide between the people who are well dressed, people who aren't dressed well. But you can tell this is probably like the market area.
Can I see a tavern?
Yes, you can see about 6.
The tavern has fires in them.
Yes. Well,
I want
most
to go
you would
to-
you would assume so.
I want to go to a tavern and sip by the fire. I'm probably very wet.
Okay. After like all the water is drained out, it kind of opens, and you're able to leave the flume, for
Okay,
want of a
that
better
was
word.
scary, guys, but I pressed the button to get us somewhere else, so you can't judge me now. It worked. Almost drowned, but it worked.
Vash, how are you feeling as you lie like compressed on the floor?
Let's do it again.
Felix isn't quite amused by this statement.
I am.
You wander over to the nearest tavern. You notice that the richer looking dressed people seem to be giving you like they've moved literally out of your way. The people who look poor aren't really fussed that you're there. You walk into the tavern and some people stop what they're doing to literally ogle you.
New
Like,
cowboy and saloon style.
Oh yeah. Can I see a fire?
you notice a small one, like really kind of like deep into the tavern.
Dry.
Okay. A Triton comes over and like yells at you in a language you don't recognize, and he just stares at you expecting a response.
Excuse me?
And be the knight in shining armor and swoop in to cast comprehend languages
Cool. On.
myself.
Awesome.
But he's
I
talking
have
to me.
to.
Well, he's kind of just shouting at all of you. You understand this to be like, who are you? Why are you in my bar? If you're going to sit here, you need to order something.
Then, good sir, we shall have 4 of your house wines.
That'll be 8 clams.
8 clams?
Clams.
We don't know clams.
You don't know. I'll just like go to Felix and be like, the currency is clams and we do not have them.
Ask him if we can give him like some coins.
Comprehend languages doesn't let you speak it. It just lets you understand
No,
it.
I was talking to Vash.
Yeah, I know, but Vash
Oh, Vash
can't speak merfolk. He can just understand it.
Coins? Just start waving fucking coins.
Take out some gold like these.
He takes one piece from you, looks at it, like bites it, and then like holds up his fingers like 6.
Which piece?
How much gold do we all
Mm.
have?
6 gold for some fucking wine.
But that's for 4 of us.
Yeah, spell ridiculously
That is like
expensive.
a house.
We go to another tavern then. I'm gonna leave. This guy seems scary.
Goodbye, sir.
You leave with like a wet trail behind you as your fur's like dripping water.
Does anyone have a
Before I
blanket we
leave,
can dry the
I
cat
want
off
to shake
with?
myself.
You give a good old shiggle and you like fluff up like.
And everyone's just like
Oh.
on splashback of like.
Very nice.
Oh, yeah.
Is there any other taverns we could go and hijack?
Is there
There's
any, like,
many.
kind of rundown looking tavern? Not rundown, but like they look more like.
Not at this point, but you can certainly have a look to see if there is.
I have a feeling we're going to be in South Beach once it's going to have clams.
Possibly. I
Well-
mean, he seemed okay with the whole gold once a bit.
Why don't we just pick one and see what happens?
I'm gonna walk down the street just a little bit, see if I see any others.
It kind of forks into 3 after a little bit. One side seems to be quite rich looking shops. You can definitely see people with a lot finer clothes. The middle bit seems quite normal, and there's a lot more like blacksmithy things down that way. And then to the right kind of looks quite barren, basic. There's a lot of people who are wearing clothes that aren't that well put together.
Why don't we go to the
You can
middle
see what
one?
looks like one.
I'm gonna go over there and see if it is an actual tavern.
Cool. Yeah, you go over and there is like a bar and things. It looks quite grimy and run
Can I
down.
see a fire?
You can.
Okay, I'm gonna go to the fire.
Mm.
I wonder how our horses are.
They're fine. They're being looked after.
What about the seahorses? They're my favorite. I got the
It was great. We had a good chat.
I know. Good times.
You did. You just weren't very happy about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go in, and the barkeep kind of looks up as you walk in. I think it's like a kind of really shitty bell that's like clonk. It's more of a clonk than a ding. He like just sits in. He comes over like as soon as you've like sat down near the fire, and he speaks common. And he's like, "What do you want?"
That's why I cast a spell for nothing.
What you got?
Wine, beer, ale.
1 ale for me.
guys want?
Wait, what's well?
What's the
do
prices?
we need
Yeah, what's the
clams?
price? Do we need clams? We only have gold and stuff.
Silver piece each.
PC? We can do that.
What sort of economy is this?
I just
One that
want-
doesn't work in your money.
I just want one ale. What about you guys?
I'll have me.
I have wine, please.
I'll have a shot of.
That's fucking wild.
He looks at you as if he's not heard this word before.
Do you have milk?
Do you have milk?
Where are they going to get milk from under the sea?
Like, I don't know, a sea animal. with,
Fucking
like,
manatee.
squirt. Dolphin.
Dolphin milk.
Anything else?
No, no milk.
Unalcoholic beverages.
He laughs and goes, yeah, basically he laughs and goes, water.
And one water, one ale.
Strongest liquor you have.
How expensive is that going to be?
It's free silver.
Yeah, how
I'll
much
do it.
I don't give a fuck. She just wants to.
I'm a
Chug.
bitch over here.
Let me see if you really are.
We are the customers that I hate
You
every
have
time they come into
5
the cafe.
I have 5 silver. Let's do it.
Okay. He comes back with like a really short, like kind of stouty glass of wine that smells quite powerful. He comes back with like a tankard of ale and a tankard of wine, and brings back like a water, and brings back a tankard of water.
Chug.
Yeah,
I pick up my wine and smell it.
it smells.
Like a connoisseur.
It smells extremely potent.
I go,
Sip, sip, babies.
and I start sipping.
It tastes quite nasty, but it's definitely alcoholic.
Keep sipping.
I removed 3. So you...
Awesome. Yeah, please do. You do. I expect you to remove your own money.
Yeah, and then I'm removing 1 for an ale for me.
The water's free.
Yeah. I removed that. And then Bash.
Ash got a thing of wine.
Yeah, it's 1 silver.
I'm just gonna chill by this fire and
Sure.
dry my fur.
Okay, that's fine.
So odd. But we're thinking of this town.
Chill.
Shit. I almost drowned.
I don't like the water.
So,
I literally planned this, and I was like, Felix is gonna hate it.
I mean, even Kelsey hates it. Being in a town full of water, I'd actually drown.
Is the bar dude still about?
Yeah, he's behind the bar. He's just chilling.
I'm gonna go up to him and strike up a convo because I'm feeling a bit
Con
tipsy.
check to see how well you can.
Slide on them DMs.
What was it?
Con check, but you'll be disadvantaged. Constitution.
Wait, are you still disadvantaged for being tired?
Yep.
Double.
No. So that's why they're disadvantaged.
That's fine.
double, double.
A little bit. She's a bit tipsy. 7.
Yeah. You don't know how to walk anymore. You're like you fall over as soon as you stand up. The alcohol's got to you already.
Okay.
So you're just now lying in front of the fire.
Besides Felix, just chilling.
I'm just curled like a cat. Can I take a wee nap? Would that be weird?
Depends how long you want to nap for.
Just like half an hour or something.
That's not weird, I suppose.
Just while I dry.
I'll start stroking Felix's
What,
fur.
what is exactly our
Come
plan?
on,
Are we just waiting around
I
until
think we're just waiting till sunset. Because not many people are talking to us.
Well, I mean, you can just not try to interact with
True,
people
but-
yet.
Half of them avoided us.
Bartender, but she drank some.
Well, that was a you problem, not a bartender problem.
The bartender. Are there any other people in the tavern, or is it just that guy?
Perception check.
Wait,
Disadvantage.
is it me?
Well, perception check for anyone that's looking.
I'll look. Oh, wait, no, I'm sleeping.
17.
You notice that there are a kind of huddle of about 3 people. They look a little bit terrified, and just in a general sense, not like anything specific. Just when people are in like a state of fear.
What did I miss?
There are 3 people in the bar who look a bit scared.
Can't you all go up?
Wait,
She can.
what happened?
There's 3 people in the bar that look scared. And
Nothing's happened. They just have a general air of fear,
All right, okay. I was like, what did you do to scare them?
like Vashini's paranoia.
Yes.
You go over to them. They look a little bit shocked as you come over, but they don't they don't immediately run away or anything.
They're not immediately racist.
Yes.
I'm not here to be rude or say anything. I'm just wanting to know more about this place.
What do you want to know?
Wow.
What do you want?
Where are we?
In a bar.
Saphicadia in a bar.
Area are we in, though?
Poverty Central.
You are in the it'd be called the industrial zone. They call it, but you're in like the poorer part of it.
What's your government way?
Have you just slide them a copy of the Communist Manifesto and leave? That's all you need.
The king and his associates rule.
Is the king trustworthy?
Is any king trustworthy?
Yes and no.
What if you ask them about
Oh, can I ask about if anyone's been having some bad dreams lately? Like really bad ones.
I mean, unless you're rich, everyone down here has bad dreams.
Yeah, but like really constantly bad ones. Or weird ones.
The two that haven't been talking look very shiftily at each other, like they know something.
God, you know,
What do you know?
I'd be like going from like
What do you know? You told me everything. That's what paladins do.
that's just how it is.
Clerics, because paladins are like, I heal, I serve God, but also I stab.
Oh. Mark,
Yeah.
can I still tell me your
What do you want me to do?
It's heavier than I thought with the wind.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, they look very frightened at Adelaide.
You did it.
The one that has been talking goes, will we all live in a constant state of going off just vanishing like some people have?
Whoa, back up. Vanish.
Wait,
there's
my
gone.
ears perk up at this because I'm levels
What?
Yeah, well, I have cat ears. I'm just sitting there like perked, like
Twitch. Like a radar.
Can you still hear me?
Yeah,
So, folk have been vanishing. Tell me about that, boy.
just people when they're poor, they're no longer needed. They just seem to vanish. They just go away.
I'm just gonna scroll over because I'm actually dry. What do you mean vanish? Like there's no trace of them, no nothing?
They just go away.
Did they plan on leaving, or is this more of a kidnapping situation?
We don't know. The last one was this guy, and he lost his job at the factory, and then he didn't. He went to work the next day and didn't come back, and apparently he didn't actually make it to work.
How many people have disappeared?
Over how long a period?
As
far as you know.
a couple weeks. How many people
In the last week, 3 maybe.
Hey!
Just
Hey.
a section of your
Well, from like the slum is I think the word that you would call it.
You guys want to investigate this?
Absolutely.
I feel like we're
After a team
Scooby Doo, like the mystery gang. Come across
Scooby
the and we're
Doo.
like, woo!
Have I finished my wine?
Yeah, you finished it. You're still lying on the floor, like,
Oh, that's what happened.
guys.
Oh, that's how drunk you got.
You're like, guys. I think we should go.
I'm ready.
We have a problem.
My fire just starts
Wait,
like.
I'm gonna kneel down by Violet and be like, "You'll thank me for this later."
No.
And then I'm gonna take my hurdy-gurdy and I'm gonna play it the most horrific screeching note I could possibly get it to make.
Wait, you just tell us to plug our ears
Oh yeah, I'll just go. And then wakey wakey.
Right.
You need to pee. Pee.
That doesn't really stop them from being tipsy.
Yeah, but does it perk them up a bit?
I mean, they're definitely slightly more alert.
Good.
What?
Violet. I like the idea that Vash is just staring at
Chunks
Violet
of
really
water.
started. He's like, yeah,
Can we get a water?
Yeah,
In my system, and I'm gonna take some water. You'll feel better.
The water is very salty. It seems to wake you up quicker than normal. You're very dry now, though. I guess
very
that.
nice.
We're all just like standing by the door, like.
It's fine. You can all go as a group. The
Pizza,
group
Monday.
offered to like take you back to like where they kind of stay.
Wait, sorry, who? The little group.
They're a little group of
Oh,
people.
okay, yeah, okay, cool. Stranger danger.
Okay, we'll just trail behind
What
them.
time is it?
As long as we're together. It's okay.
You've only been about 2 hours since you left.
Stranger danger.
Flash. These strangers might help us.
Or they work.
Yes, but we have weapons. It's okay.
Yeah, you've noticed that the only people who have weapons here are the guards. Like nobody carries around weaponry.
Wait,
What if they're just in their house?
Yes, you
Go
do.
back to
okay,
the
I was about to
house
say, I was
and
like, they didn't take
they
them
have
away
some
from
sort
us.
of fucking torture chamber and they put us in little boxes.
There are 4 of us.
What if they're the ones kidnapping people?
But then there's only 3 of them. And they're kidnapping the people who don't have any weapons, don't have any people that really care in the end. Whereas we have each other, we have weapons, magic, a healer, we're fine.
Hey.
Yeah, you follow
Watching us, like-
you follow them around.
I want you to
And,
like, talk to me with me not responding.
They take you to what looks like a broken down version of the cylinder that you were in before. Like they lead you down the dark street away from the nice parts, and it just seems to be getting rougher and worse. Your paranoia is on like high alert. There's like people lying in the street who you don't know if they're dead or just like exhausted because they're like unable to eat.
Exhausted.
And yeah, they take you to this like broken down kind of thing. You notice that there's only one button on this one, which is the bottom one. There's no other buttons on this side.
Is this going to be water again?
They kind of look at you slightly confused because they're like, everything's war here. I mean,
use my little
like they
face
say,
as,
like you
an
can
umbrella?
walk, but it's like a day's walk from here.
Smart. Can I do this with my cape and try and shimmy Felix under it? With my cloak.
Okay, yeah, but then you're going to be disadvantaged for trying to stay upright.
No,
I don't want to be
together.
disadvantaged.
You're already
I'll get
disadvantaged.
wet. I'll slightly drown on the way down, and then I'm fine. It's okay.
They get in
gotta
and
stay
like
upright.
wait, like squeeze
Okay, I
in and
felt
wait for you
last
guys
time,
to
here
get
we go.
inside.
Okay, I will.
We're going into one of those weird
Stranger
orgy
danger
things
again.
that took us down that pipe, and we're gonna go down another water pipe because we're following the strangers.
Just strike yourself.
I know. That's what I said.
Okay.
It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, ready?
We're all in the big
Um,
cylindery thing.
Yeah, you go in and they push the button. You notice that there's like weird, horrible screeching sounds as the door closes. This one definitely isn't quite as well maintained as the other one. The floor drops quite quickly, and the
Okay.
water sounds aren't there yet. The guys start walking down the tube after
Fucking
like
arseholes. Are they all Spider-Man or something?
no, they're just walking. It's
Alright,
it's a
okay.
cylindrical tube. You can walk down it. It's quite a
Not
steep bit.
sliding.
They're not sliding. They're walking down, and they're like, "Come on."
Suppose we follow.
Do you ask anything?
Where are we going to?
Well, I think they don't. They look for the word, and because they're like their common isn't great, and they're like, I believe slum is the word you would use. After about like 10 minutes of walking, you suddenly hear the rushing water, and they were like, "Oh, it's quicker than normal this time," and then just suddenly hit and swept with the water.
Okay, nice.
I feel like we're all just like laying in the water. And just
Yeah, we're just like prepared by laying down.
This water wasn't. It's not quite as forceful, so it's easier to maintain like without drowning.
Hooray.
It's not a little stream by any means, but yeah.
Hooray for bad plumbing.
You get thrown out the other side. There doesn't seem to be like a landing chamber. It's like the pipe just stops as if like it's run out
Oh my god.
or it's been broken, and you just kind of
There's a swim
flop
like
out.
that in Dundee, I hate I hate it.
You just kind of flop out onto like a sodden bit of like ground. The guys like just they're quite used to this. They land quite elegantly. You guys all manage to land on your feet, but it's more of like a. Look, you got woke up by the water real good.
There was seawater in your mouth, and then
Big
there was
slap.
seawater moving you.
Yeah, for essentially a drain pipe.
To be honest, yeah. Right.
Okay, cool.
This basically it looks like it's tents, it's broken down buildings, like
Thanks.
coral. The coral that makes up the houses here looks like it's died or dying.
Kind of proper homelessy slum.
Yeah, it is so barren. You can just make out the top of the palace from here. It seems quite as if like you basically went round in a circle.
What time of day is it?
Near enough midday from judging.
So
Like when you look
sunlight
up, you can kind of
upwards,
roughly.
yeah.
Obviously, light penetrates water differently, but
Yeah,
it
yeah.
kind of
There's
looks
like
generally right above.
Yeah.
You can kind of just see where like the shield stops and like the actual sea begins for the air that you're breathing.
Vancouver.
When you get here, people kind of smile at you. For them, being in the air gives them more of an advantage than being in water because a lot of them are frail. They don't feel quite as threatened.
So they're a lot nicer to us.
Well, people who are genuinely abused and beaten down by society
They
tend to be nicer.
yeah, I know.
Because how do you make something real? Racism!
Oh no.
And rich people. Snobbish.
Rich people always.
But yeah, the people here are a lot nicer. You feel like people like helping each other out, people trying to like
Why are poor
protect
so
people. You notice a couple of
Because they
clericy
don't
looking
bad
Adelaide. Adelaide. You notice some clerics that are like seem to be trying to heal people. About 2. As many as they can physically see in a day. Like they're just going basically door to door. You can indeed. They like look at you slightly confused, like we are healing people.
Oh my god. Not cool. I mean,
They look at you and just kind of chuckle, like you've never been to a poverty zone, have you?
oh dear, sweetie. Why don't you try and help them out, huh?
Give me a wisdom check, Adelaide. You realize that these clerics are of a much higher caliber than you in terms of what they're probably capable of. They're a lot more trained, a lot more experienced clerics than you are.
Shit self in Spanish.
I mean, not us. Them, and they gesture to basically the entire zone that you can see.
This reminds me of the circus.
Good times.
Like the slums. We didn't have much.
Oh, okay. I realized that was in character. I thought that was out of character, and I was really confused.
Like when we were
Like I came from the circus.
Sorry, that was just
No,
you
I
were
get
so
that.
in character. I got confused.
I could play a song for the poor people.
I mean, you could.
Who is everyone just in their houses? Are they going door to door?
They're basically door to door is a bit of a loose terminology. More like a tent / falling down building to tent / falling down building. Some people are just lying in the street. Like most of the things they seem to be giving out is kind of water and food rations. But they're like checking on anyone who seems to have any illnesses. They're just trying to make it better for them any way they can.
Who's the closest person to me that's ill?
There's like an old woman lying on the side of the street opposite.
Can I cure wounds her?
I mean, do you want to see if she needs cure wound first?
Right, okay.
Good shout. I'll just start playing a nice song on the violin. Hurt people up a bit.
That's fair. people. There's some kids who are like more able to start dancing around you.
Very nice. My work here is done.
I'll dance too, so more people are encouraged.
Adelaide, give me an investigation check. Sorry, give me a medicine check on the wee old woman.
Oh hell yeah.
21.
21. You notice that she is diseased. With a disease that you're not sure what it is. It's something you've never come across before.
Is Kumar.
Are there a lot of diseases going around?
Medicine check. Or unless you're going to ask somebody.
I mean, I could, but I'll do a medicine check first. And if I don't get
Well, actually, see
it,
how much you would know about medicine anyway to begin with. So yeah, medicine check first of all. Disadvantaged. Because you're tired.
nine.
I mean, you know enough about medicine diseases. Are you going to ask somebody?
The one of the clerics.
Cool. They tell you that they have sponchitis.
Yeah,
It's the main disease that goes around here. Sponchitis.
Is there a description?
Tell me.
Basically, it's a disease. One of the clerics says it's similar to what was known as the plague back on the mainland, which you're all aware of. But it only affects amphibious creatures, so merfolk, tritons.
Like
Their version of the plague, but for fish people.
Yeah, essentially. So you guys aren't at any particular risk. They are.
What? Good.
They are tritons.
Get out of here.
Are they fancy looking or just kind of regular clothes looking?
Well, they're clerics, so they're They're not posh isn't the right word, but yeah, they are definitely
But
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
They're wearing like masks and stuff. They have quite a lot of what you'd expect from people working in a.
Can I ask what church
ailment.
they serve?
That is a good question. One which I didn't.
It's supposed to be in it.
Bear with me 2 minutes. I got fantasy name generator.
A mermaid church. I do.
Honestly, in what world is this?
I'm honest. It's not-
No, it's not a wind.
I think
There's no hope for this lady.
there is a specific one for diseases.
There's lesser restoration.
I also have cure wounds. Wounds.
You touch a creature and can end either one disease or one condition, afflicting it.
Yeah, that sounds good.
So they tell you that they are their church that they serve is Tritone, which is like meant to be the original Triton.
The OG. Cool. Very nice. Very cool.
When did they start doing this?
They were raised. They tell you they were raised in the church, so like they learned from the beginning.
And how did
This
they
pen
know-
needs to work, Carrie.
How did they know what was going on down here in the slums? Because they seem like they come from quite a rich area. So.
They are not
The
blind.
clerics are given quite a lot of privileges for being part of the church, but our job is to look after those. Like any cleric, looking at Adelaide, slightly down their nose a little bit at like her lesserness is like as if they're more experienced. Like not in a bad way, just like you need to learn.
Our little cleric.
Patch pat.
They're the best.
Why is this pen not working? Why does it work on me but not on the page?
I don't know.
What pen doesn't write on paper?
Shade one.
Can I, wait.
Thank you.
And you want?
Never mind.
What else do I see around me apart from like dying people in bad buildings?
Not much more, to be honest. This bed goes on for miles and miles, as far as you can see.
Are the
There are like occasionally what looks like kind of like makeshift churches for people to like worship and stuff.
Clerics kind of rich. They might know something about I want to ask them about what we're looking for, the things to do with the temple.
Mhm.
And I also want to ask them about the weird disappearances going on.
Okay. First of all, we'll do them in order. She tells you that in relation to that, they've like heard the stories. It was like around before the city was separated from the mainland. But she doesn't really know if it's any truth or not. As far as they're concerned, it's like an old wives' tale or like a kid's storybook.
I mean, we found it. If that's cool to know.
What?
I want to tell the cleric we found it.
So you're going to tell them what you know about it so far?
Just that it exists.
And your field of corn. Are you going to talk about the mechanical city and the field of corn, or are you just going to say that you found the temple?
Just that it exists.
And then, like, we went through some weird things to get items for the temple, but more kind of stuff.
There's some missing
city.
kids somewhere.
Can I give an old lady a ration?
You can. She thanks you. In like broken common.
You thank. And then, what about these disappearances? We heard that quite a lot of, like, poor people end up just vanishing with no word.
She looks kind of saddened. Like she wants to know, like she should know, but she had that look like she should know, but she's not really sure what to say. And she tells you that, like, in the slums, people go missing all the time. Some people were found, like
Where were they
dead.
found?
Some people were like killed off for money, like they were like from loan sharks and things like that. Others-
sharks. Are they actual sharks?
No,
Shark
Funny.
that would be. You know, people get into fights. People get it's poor. They steal. They
Yeah.
get caught. Sometimes they get sent to prison. The guards, like at that point, she kind of looks around and you can see there's a couple of guards, that definitely don't look like they belong
Police
here.
brutality.
People go missing. It's an easy city to get lost in. It's bigger than most countries, and if you step outside of the field, then it's not easy to get back in.
The fucking what now? Oh, the bubble.
The bubble.
Sorry.
They call it the field.
Thank you.
We were gonna see if we could kind of investigate it a little bit, because it's a bit mysterious, you know. People just randomly go missing. I understand the whole, you know, fights and getting killed over money and stuff. So then you find their bodies. That makes sense, but just
Going
randomly
missing.
disappearing is weird, and also it might just possibly be related to what we were searching for in the first place.
I'd also
Of
like
course.
to be like,
They kind of whisper to
What about
you
that
to make sure the
news?
guards don't hear. She's like, investigating this is probably a surefire way to not make it back to the mainland.
thanks for the pro tip, Suki.
I highly doubt we were actually gonna make it back anyway.
Hilarious. And can I ask if anyone's been having really strange dreams?
I mean, these people have delusions all the time. They're ill. They're dying.
No, not just the poor. What about you guys?
I mean, the church tends to protect us from any sort of most magical influence. And we're the only real magic here, other than like the king and his family.
Okay.
Most of these poor people,
Just speak, Reggie.
Do you like the king?
he's probably one of our better ones we've had.
That's not a yes.
Is there anything you've ever noticed that's
Weirder than a king that leaves his subjects to die like this.
well, not just that.
That's
I
all
mean,
you know,
every-
so
yeah,
Yeah.
But like, yeah, has he ever done anything that's been a bit dodgy that isn't just your usual nasty king dodginess?
He reinstated the clerics. His father stopped us from being allowed to work here. And when he took
Why?
over, his father was a very greedy man who wanted to turn this land into more housing for the rich and more palace gardens, as if he didn't have enough.
What about all
His
the
son is
people?
a little bit better. He at least appreciates that people need help. Allowed us to return to work here.
So he doesn't seem that fishy.
I hate you.
They look at you as if like you're trying to make a joke
I'm
and you're
not
not sure how
trying
to
to, I'm
take
just-
it.
My wording is to mainlander.
But yeah, other than us and the guards, we're the only ones that really get an education. And obviously the rich can pay if they want to send their children for.
What about the people that we were with? What they doing?
The people that brought you here, oh, they
Yeah.
fucked off. They just abandoned you when they got there. Like that was their job, was just to take you there. They just
But they said they didn't crash in their place. I told
no,
you.
they didn't.
I thought
They just said they would take you there.
Okay. I misunderstood.
Right. Okay.
I mean, if you want to crash somewhere, nobody's going to stop you falling asleep in the streets here.
I mean,
Is there anything in this huge long slum bits that people are very wary of, or they just
Well,
is like
the
an
entrance,
area?
the entrance into the sewer system and the pipe network is here.
is this just it?
It used to be this area was more used to be more factory based, but everything got moved when one of the kings decided to separate the zones.
Where is the sewer?
To the sewers.
If you go, it will take you about half a day's walk to move through the slums. And you'll see it. You can't miss it. It's a big open site. You can see all the pipes.
We're already halfway through the day, aren't we? And we need to talk to the king.
Yeah.
Should we come back here tomorrow?
If we're still alive, yeah.
I imagine we should be.
I don't know, man. We're poking in his business.
We are.
We're poking in all sorts of business. We having bad dreams.
Sorry.
We might get a bit crabby.
You didn't have a bad dream?
No.
Aww. Why are you safe?
Religion.
Religion.
Out my house.
Oh!
Praise
You
the
just go to bed
Christ.
at night, you just go, oh! Before you fall asleep.
No. Okay. Why don't we go take a nap in the palace and go have dinner?
Thank you very much for your information. We will be back. Hopefully, if we don't die. If the king doesn't kill us, we'll be back. And
Well, okay, have fun. Don't die then.
if you
Okay,
need
cool,
any help,
nice.
we're nice people.
Mm.
I not too much, but we're nice. We can at least entertain.
I would say niceness doesn't cure
It doesn't.
doesn't cure illnesses.
But for people dying, we can at least entertain.
I play a mean hurdy-gurdy. I'm just saying.
I'm in her to girl.
Yeah.
I'm
I
very,
know if you look at me long enough, I can sing really nice.
I'm very soft.
What are Violet doing?
I was just chilling, you know. She's
Comatose from alcohol.
Okay, so you're gonna head back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait.
Good question.
Clerics, how do we get back?
Um,
Two tubes. We took the tube to the.
Yeah, but then
Lucky
are
bit.
there tubes that go up? Are there tubes of water that bring us up?
Probably.
there's chips that go for. Yeah, they take you up. It takes maybe like an hour to walk back to what's basically what they're using as the main kind of base. You can find a couple more clerics. It's kind of like a churchy style building. It's basically right next to where there is another one of these kind of circular ones. Again, this one looks a bit disheveled, and again, there's only one button, which is the middle one.
That damn council not
So I suppose
refurbishing
we
these
go-
tubes. Middle bit.
Okay.
This one seems to
Really
respond a
good
bit quicker, and you get flushed back to the industrial zone.
Okay, welcome to Flush the Way too.
Perception check from all of you. Disadvantage normal. So those of you who are disadvantaged will be double disadvantage.
And that's 20.
All of you are disadvantaged, but these three are double disadvantaged. So roll 3 times takes the lowest.
Perception.
11.
13.
With double disadvantage, what's that?
19.
Okay, off. What
I
did you roll?
got a natural 20,
Uh-huh.
and then I got a 20 with my plus 4, and then I got 15, which brought me to 19.
Awesome.
I know. Impressive.
Adelaide, what did you get? 16. So 19, 16, 13.
Maria.
11.
11. Okay. You briefly get a glimpse of what looks like an alternative line, but you don't know if you saw it quick enough or not, or if it's just your imagination because these tunnels twist and turn all the time. But you thought you saw like it looked like you could split off and go another way from the way that you're getting forced down with the water. But you're not sure. It was just like a brief glimpse.
Not mine.
But you're also getting like spun around, flipped down corridors. Circulation back to my life. But none of the rest of you notice anything. You're too busy trying not to drown.
Very cool.
And then you appear in one of the kind of secondary bits again, in the industrial zone. You're in kind of something, you can kind of see you're like between the good part, like the middle section and the poor part where it's split.
Alright,
Can
next
we
tube.
still go up from this tube, or do we need another tube?
This one only has one button again.
Okay, right. I suppose we could find another tube. Or can we ask someone?
There are people walking around. These tridents kind of look kind of, you've got kind of mix between sort of medium and poor.
Why don't we ask a guard? They'll probably speak common.
Or those guards. There are guards dotted around. They're quite easily noticeable.
I suppose we'll ask the first guard.
You don't ask them.
Where's the other tube that'll take us back up to the rich place so we can get propelled?
They just kind of point down the street, just like that direction. They don't say anything. They just kind of point.
Very cool.
How long do we walk for?
It takes you about an hour and a half from here to walk all the way through the market. You come across lots of different things on your way, different shops. There's some armories, blacksmiths, some more pubs. You see some places that are selling clothes and jewels and, you know, general knick-knacky things that people might want. There is like a markety section for food. There's people like different kind of plants,
When we
fruit.
come back tomorrow, we should stop here and get some food and shit for the poor people.
You see people bartering in clams.
How do we get clammy boys?
I feel like our gold is fine. 'Cause we've had some people accept.
Yeah, but no one seems to understand the conversion rates here. We're being charged like a hotel fee for a beer.
I got water for them.
I mean, it's hard to charge for water when you live under the ocean.
That's true.
It is all salty. Your water is salty. They're literally just giving you seawater.
Oh,
So
And you drank seawater.
You've noticed your fur is a bit like drier than it should be because obviously the salt's stripping it.
Oh, yeah.
But you get back to the one that you came through before, and again, it's just got the two buttons. Well, it's got one button. One other button's like the one that you would push to get there, so it's kind of like a block.
Well, we'll go back up.
It responds a lot quicker than normal, and you definitely notice that like the pipe and stuff seems like much more maintained before you get like flushed through the system. And you appear at the same one that you kind of left from.
Cool. Back to the same place.
back to the palace, guys.
Like, well,
Hooray.
And people here are like definitely giving you a wide berth. They're like, who are these bitches?
I gotta baby the
I
queen.
I have an air of cat confidence. I don't care about these fish people. I'm a cat. I eat you. I mean, not you specifically, but fish. I'm just.
Just as you get back to the castle gates and you're about to head in, you hear like arguing from like a couple of people nearby.
We
Listen
understand
time.
it. Is it in common or is it in
Can I understand it? Because I can't comprehend.
How long does it last?
I can't remember.
It depends on how long it lasts.
How long has it been?
in hours?
Yeah.
And no.
How long does it last?
An hour.
Okay, definitely not. We're at like 6 or something since you guys left.
To be fair, I only cast it.
You hear them arguing, and then like they're like pointing over in your direction. Then one of the guards just like motions you into the gates.
I'm going in, but I'm like.
Swing! Stranger danger! Stranger danger.
Okay.
You walk back in.
Okay, cool.
There's nobody around. The table's all been cleared and stuff like that, and like set up for dinner, but it's not quite like time yet.
Do we have to sit somewhere and wait?
So we both go back to our rooms after that.
You could. You've probably got about 2 hours or so until.
Team nap time.
I feel like we should all be in the same room because things are getting fishier.
The doom.
Can I have a partner?
I shall sleep under the bed.
Okay. So Vash is under the bed.
The dreaming dark can't get me here.
One bed, but they're like king
Well,
size, so. And I curl at the bottom.
No,
anyway.
that's two.
There's two?
Oh, that's okay
We
then.
chose to share.
I'll just hide under the covers.
You chose to share a bed.
Oh, I'm
Wink.
Oh, you were curled up at the bottom, so Vash took like the main part
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
I'm like, you have the whole bed up at the bottom.
Whereas Adelaide and Violet had a bed each.
If you were a real cat, I'd wake up with you on my head.
He moves for the night when he's not disturbed.
Like, just curl around you, like, actually strangling you. You're like,
I just go around.
And you can't speak because you need to be able to look at them. They've got their eyes shut, they can't see you.
That's how Vash dies. Crushed by them dummy thick cheeks.
Anyway. You chill.
Very
Me-
chill.
I'm gonna groom myself.
Yeah, that's it. You're going to try and sort yourself out, make yourself a little bit more
I feel like
presentable.
I look really
Yes.
puffy and, like, weird in places.
Violet, you're probably like sorting your hair out again to make it dried, finally looking after it's been demolished.
I have some perfume if anyone wants a
The mohawk
smooch.
is no longer spicy. At least there's only one part of hair. I have hair all over.
I'm bald.
I'm bald.
Okay, Vash has like really long hair, so he can sort of relate. He's just like brushing it like a fair lady.
Had to take it out the dreads, brush it, put
Yeah.
it back up.
Everyone's doing their hair nicely, and I'm like,
Every so often looking at people like, don't judge me.
I don't,
Wait, if
you know what I
You don't know my life.
like. It's long.
Yes, it is long.
So matted and salty. This poor boy.
So,
This poor shittily drawn boy.
okay, right, nap time.
Nap
you got
time.
like 2 hours.
Very nice. Are we not disadvantaged anymore?
Are you all having a nap for 2 hours?
How long did it take me to groom myself? That's a lot of fur. I was like,
We're probably about 2 hours.
how tall am I?
You're not like 6 foot something.
Oh, no, I'm only 5'10". That's still quite a lot.
I'm 5'11", so yeah.
I'm
You are.
So
I'm gonna take a while.
yeah, probably it's gonna take you at least about an hour and a half. So yeah, you're licking yourself. So you're still disadvantaged. You two have like recovered enough that you're not anymore. So you'll be exhaustion level 0.
Very, very good to hear.
Adelaide's like praying away the gay, or praying in the gay, maybe
Or who knows? Maybe both.
praying the gay way. So yeah. Wisdom save. No, actually, no. Never mind. Ignore me. Ignore me.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm glad this happened.
Yeah. It's now probably time for you to head down. You're all kind of grim. Feel like you're feeling a lot better in your fire, even though you're still tired. But yeah.
Pretty now.
You're looking all pretty again. You no longer look like you've been
My
drowned.
whiskers like.
You no longer look like you've been harassed.
You're slaying, and that's all that fucking matters. Exhaustion be damned.
Yeah. If you head down, the king is already there waiting, and there are other people who look like high officials and stuff like that. And you notice some younger looking people who resemble the king, which you assume will be his children. There's about 5 of them, 2 girls and 3 boys.
That's quite a lot of children.
2 of them look the same age, like twins, and then the really young one was like a boy and a girl, and then a boy, and then a girl, and then a boy. Looks the oldest.
I'm guessing our like seats are gonna set up.
Yeah, there are 4 empty chairs. It's fairly obvious where you're going.
One of them.
They're actually near the king, though. You're maybe like 2 away from the king.
I don't like it.
So,
Sup.
no. Like, no.
By the way, having to remember how our manners work.
Never had them.
I'm having to try and remember what they were taught in school, like etiquette.
Your Majesty.
Once you get caught in fucking Assassin's Creed.
How not to be seen.
Assassin's Creed.
Never be seen, never be caught, killing everyone.
Very good. A++.
You sit down. The king welcomes you.
Thank you. You're king. I have to be. Your Highness. Highness seems weird though. Majesty sounds better.
How about your grace?
Either or are fine. He kind of laughs and you all choose different terms. Like, are you silly human? Well, silly land beings.
We've never met a king before. We try our best.
silly land beings. And he just like laughs and like jokes to his children, like, look at how funny they are on the land. This is why we never leave. The sea is so much better.
Stop being racist.
I mean, not so much racism, but point out your differences.
He is mocking.
I hate this place. You have a lot of water though.
Yes, but we also have a lot of fish.
Fish is nice.
You're like, yes, fish. You notice an even more excellent spread of like different meats than fishes. You would be more extravagant than what you got. There is one that's taking up like at least 3 seats worth of like length. It's like this huge fuck up
Is
fish.
there a chicken?
No.
No! No! What have you got? A fish! No!
There's lots of different seafood, like shellfish. That's like a whole in a geocode. No.
No, there's currency.
Just start like shoving it in pockets.
Like so.
You came here willingly. Why are you here?
Yeah, we did get saved. Not saved. Thank you for saving us, by the way. I can't remember if we thanked you.
You made it this far. We were intrigued.
I think we were looking for this place.
Yeah, the book said we had to be here.
Yeah, we were following this book, right?
Mm.
A lot of shit's happened. We've been through a lot. And we found a temple. There was lots of different holes in the temple door thing, and we have to find items to go in them. And we had like a weird city that moved and stuff, and there was darkness and like some like necromancers or something. And then we were in like this field, and there was a lot of corn. And I liked corn, but now I don't like corn because there was some creepy corn demon thing. Whoa, that was a wild time.
Go cool scythe though.
We got a cool scythe out of it. But now we're here because this was the third place we had to come in the book. But the book's ruined because it went in the water. So, we're wondering if you know anything about the Temple of Saphicadia.
Well, I mean, he's one of the main deities from your land religion. Although I believe he was actually the one for water, which is funny. Funny, you people on the land worship the water. You're right to worship the water. We are amazing. Stark into old tales. Designed to keep children from running away from their parents.
What are the old tales?
That children would go missing and be sacrificed to Sobek if they didn't
Oh!
behave.
Yeah, there are missing children actually.
Yeah.
That is a thing.
We have experienced that. We're trying to search for one.
I thought it was
People
two
go
now.
missing. It's a dangerous world. That's why we keep to our own little world. You land beings have strange wars over territory and nothing more than because you can.
It's pretty
I've
dangerous
never
here, though.
participated in a war, so no.
Mm.
They mean nothing to me.
PTSD.
You're
Why are you singing?
You're a weird guy from this morning. I felt like he knew something, but he wasn't telling us. He was just telling us to talk to you.
Oh, you mean Jeeves? Jeeves!
That
Man
guy.
appears.
This man. What do you know?
About.
The Temple of Sobek, the weird things going on. There's disappearances. There's so much.
You notice some of the guards like chink a little bit suddenly.
Chink?
Yeah, as if they've like moved position.
Oh, right. Okay, sorry.
They chink.
Getting ready.
They're getting ready to stab our fucking asses.
We're not trying to do anything.
The king watched disappearances.
We've heard like disappearances here. There's people disappearances on the mainland. There's a lot of things going on, and we just want to get in this temple. I can't remember why we want to get in. But we want to get in the temple. We're not trying to do anything bad. We're trying to help people and get in a temple.
It just looks at you like you're absolutely mad.
It's hard to explain. If I had the book, I'd just like show you the pages, you know. But the
Sorry,
book
I
is
got
ruined.
launched by a fucking
I'm
kraken.
not blaming you. I'm just saying the book got ruined.
Okay, fine, cool.
The book did get ruined.
Is there a library here? We have a
Oh yeah, is there a library here?
I mean, do you read Merfolk?
Idiots. I read Draconic, Elvish, and Quarry, if that helps.
I can read Primordial.
I mean, you and Adelaide and Violet can all have a wee book group going then. But,
Oh yeah, I also remember the weird horse guy wanted stuff from the temple.
Oh,
We
yeah.
made a deal with him for some
He wanted,
free armor. He wanted gold lamps, a diamond.
Wasn't there like rubies in there or something?
Yeah,
Or wed will be damning.
yeah.
Like ruby diamond.
I wrote it down. Go me.
Okay, but
Why have your guards moved?
I mean, they're not statues; they move.
Yeah, of course that. But
Okay,
I feel like
change
you've moved
position
into
at
a
all.
formation to like attack.
No, they've not significantly moved.
Is this like a Doctor Who thing where every time we look away they're gonna get more
Like we
close
blink and they just
stabbing
get
us in the
closer.
face?
That's later.
What?
What about your sewers?
I mean, the network's been here when we built the island thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago. We are a city that lives underwater. We needed a way to move that. To move the city, to raise it. Like fish, we have a ballast. We can inflate it and sink, or we can rise, or we
Anything
can.
weird about your sewers?
That is such a
Weirder
weird
than a
fucking
sewer
question.
system is. I mean, it's dark and creepy and a bit wet inside, but what isn't in a sewer?
Okay, guys, come on. I'm the only one asking questions in my brain.
I mean, our tube network, I'm sure you've experienced, is very handy for moving around.
It's very wet.
You don't notice it's quite so wet when the city is submerged.
We're just trying to figure out what he knows.
So, start with the funky kraken dreaming, huh?
If you're dreaming of krakens, then maybe you need to deal with your fear of krakens.
I ain't scared of kraken.
Are you sure? And he brings out like a miniature kraken.
I am sure. Where did you get that?
It's like a doll. It's like
Where
a toy.
did you get that?
It's a toy.
Why?
Okay, you have small children.
Okay.
I mean, I'm sending them clerics.
Yeah, but they clearly aren't doing.
You wouldn't
can't do
understand what
everything.
it's like to have to run an entire country.
Okay, but like, could you run it better?
Jesus, guys, we're not trying to be political here.
You,
don't care what
like,
he's doing with his
You get like
policies.
knocked in the back of the head by one of the guards. Not hard, but just like a hold your tongue kind of way.
Okay, not like better, but like they're still dying.
Okay, all right. Right.
Is there any what items do we need for this?
Did your guards ever like investigate the disappearance of people?
I have sent some guards into the sewers. They've come back empty-handed.
Did they nothing at all?
Did they just not find anything?
And you just gave up. Oh, it's a shame.
People missing. They could have been thrown out of the barrier for all I know.
Fucking bye.
If they get thrown out of the barrier, then they're a problem for the sharks.
We're not picking a fight.
I'm not trying to pick
You
fight.
are.
You're
picking a fight.
dodgy.
You're picking a fight. You're
Manifest.
gonna get us
He's
killed.
just a bit suspicious.
Yes, but you're gonna get us killed.
Do not trust.
He's like,
Survive
okay,
here.
I think you should show some more gratitude that I've left the air here. I could have filled it with water as my people have asked me to.
Wait,
They're not very happy that we've still left the air in.
Wait. You can do that like on and off.
Yeah, well, we have to surface to refill with air, but we don't need air here to breathe. All of us
that
can
makes
live in
so
water.
much more sense.
Right.
Okay.
Let's just deviate from this. What's called?
But yes, if you wanted us to fill it with water, it's but a simple task. Although I feel that none of you are able to breathe underwater.
Place that we're trying to go to.
But then we've been to the temple.
Yeah, we were
We've been to look
there.
for items.
Mark, not
This-
to metagame, but I genuinely can't remember what we needed. Like,
I
can't
remember the door we found like it was like weird crystal things or something that we were able to.
Yeah,
put
so you
into
had
holes.
an orb, and then you had some diamond that you'd got
Weren't there
from
like diamond eyes or something?
yeah,
Yeah.
that you'd got from the field, and there was other such shapes that may be jewels or whatever that needed to fit
We're-
in.
Looking for items that could be kind of represented as jewels, but probably slightly bigger.
or anything
That
associated.
might have maybe some sort of like magic attached to them in any way.
Well, the main religion here is Tritani, and the original Krakens that were more the ones that created the world. The Krakens that you met on the outside are just mere shadowy beasts of the originals. But
Very.
the original Kraken race no longer exists. They were more sentient creatures who
What happened?
are meant to have built the world. What happens to any god in a religion? They just suddenly disappear from the world. Even most religions, their deities appeared, created some form of way, and then vanished. So Luna was meant to have created the moon.
Do you think our best bet is trying
She's still around.
churches?
Hmm?
Trying churches, see if they know anything.
It's
Mainly 'cause
possible,
they're-
but Tritonin isn't really worshipped anymore. We've formed technology as our main basis. I know the clerics still have obviously their religion, but other than the clerics, no one really worships religion here anymore. We don't see the need. We are protected here. Our magic and our power suffices.
There's a book about Sobek in the library. Maybe if I
You
can.
can't
Cannot
read
solve. We can't
mermaids.
read.
That's the issue.
Do you have any sort of like artifact that can let us read? You know, some magic glasses or like.
Or anyone who speaks common and merfolk.
Well, most
would
of the
help.
educated part of the city can speak common if they wish.
Do you have anyone who might help us?
Jeeves! Help them if they need anything.
Thank you.
Oh, I think we should eat.
Oh yeah. Should
And the king just like starts eating his dinner.
should we take a break? We could make this part one.
Yeah, let's break up the videos a little bit.
Can do.
Who's gonna sit and watch like a 6-hour YouTube video?
D&D people. We don't watch Critical Role.
Oh yeah, but that's like 2 hours, isn't it?
Oh no. No. Yeah, no, we can stop for now.
Yeah,
But